Hey everybody, welcome back to Gun Tote Minnesota. And today I have a modern Spartan Systems starter kit. This is a cleaning kit which includes the Spartan Accuracy Oil, Carbon Destroyer, Copper and Lead Destroyer, and a Crystal Clear, which is like for lenses. It's this blue one right here. This is a really neat kit that you can get if you're getting into precision rifle or you're in shooting in general, whether that be Precision 22, NRL 22, or Precision Center Fire, or you just want to take care of your guns so they don't fall apart on you. This is a really nice system sent out to my channel by my friend who I met on a plane on the way to SHOT Show. Actually, he told me a little bit about his products, and I was impressed. So starting off, this is going to be a brief overview. These do have a nozzle, so you can be precise with the application. I found that the Copper and Lead Destroyer genuinely does not take much. There's only 2 ounces in here, but it doesn't take much to start being, fast acting. It is nose friendly. It's called their copper and lead dissolution technology. It's designed to remove copper and lead. That's what it's aiming at. So not necessarily carbon, but copper and lead. It dissolves salts and chlorides. It's safe to use on all metals, and it won't etch or pit your barrels. They say it's fast acting and also environmentally friendly, which is good because you don't want to get poisoned by the stuff that gets on your hands. Even if you're using a cloth and a cleaning rod of some sort, it does tend to get on you, and you just don't want stuff that's going to kill the dolphins because it'll kill you at the end of the day. So it's nice to see that this is relatively safe to work with. All things should be done and applied with gloves either way, and try not to get it in your face. Moving on from there, you have Carbon Destroyer. Now, I like the 2 of these because this is great for precision rifle. I have a lot of copper moving pretty hot and fast through some of my precision rifles, so I need that copper dissolver. And then I shoot NRL 22, and in my precision 22s, like the ones you've seen on this channel several times, those barrels lead out, and they can get really, really dirty. I like to clean both my precision rifles, whether it's rimfire or center fire, within about 200 to 300 rounds. And so this one is effective for that. But when it comes to shooting 300 blackout suppressed, I tend to need like a Carbon Destroyer for the bolt. The bolt in particular is the thing I'm more concerned about. So this is fine for the barrel, maybe the chamber, but when it gets to the bolt, this is what I need. And this has worked really well. It hasn't taken much, just a couple dabs to clean out the gas port and a couple other places. It is water-based, also fast acting, and I think that this is probably a little bit more effective than just running your general old Rem Oil through it. This is actually meant to destroy carbon, and it's designed a little differently. They do have some of the information on the back about application and what it's great for, so you might want to read that if it's something that's important to you. So Carbon Destroyer, that's a nice pair. And then from there, I'm actually going to move this down and bring these forward. These are really interesting to me. So this is Spartan Accuracy Oil. And Accuracy Oil is something I've just heard about in the last maybe 4 or 5 years, but the goal is to optimize your performance in any platform and increase accuracy. So it's going to help with smoothness of action. They say it eliminates friction-related malfunctions, which is really important. If you have a gun that's getting broken in or just had a rough edge, this is something that can smooth that out. It's unaffected by temperature. See, I'm in Minnesota, so in Minnesota, a lot of times accuracy oils and lubes, like I remember one particular brand I'm not going to throw out there right now, they're not in business anymore. Their lube used to gunk up in 22 pistols or even some 9mm pistols. It used to get sludgy, and this is comfortable in all temperatures. It's going to work in all temperatures, and it's not going to gunk up the way that some of those other lubes that are a little bit more gelatin looking. Those ones, not so weather permitting, actually, in the cold. Oil, definitely. So I like to see that. It's long lasting, it doesn't take much, and they say it can actually extend your barrel life, as well as the fact that it's not, damaging for your barrel. So this isn't anything you have to worry about if you put a little too much on. Very, very neat. Also comes with the precision applicator on top. Does not take much, guys. Don't go over the top with that. This should last you a long, long time. Now I can move on to this. If you can see the logo here, this is the Spartan Accuracy Grease. And so when it comes to things like my AK, this is something that I probably would actually use in my AK. It creates like a super smooth action and dramatically reduces wear. If you've got an AK like I do, I've got a Zastava OPAP, and I love that thing, but they do have a lot of friction in general. And the tighter you get on any platform, usually that means there's more friction, which means there's more wear and tear on slides, on bolts, and anything with mass that's moving around. So for my AK and my AR, this is what I'm going to be trying, and I'll give more of an update on that as time goes on. This is something that will take some time for me to have more final thoughts on, but it's a really neat idea, and theoretically, yes, creating something, designing something that is chemically superior to other products on the market was a good idea, because I've tried some other ones out there and they tend to burn off or cook off, and grease, just the principles and the chemistry of grease is a better idea. And I know a lot of people like to run their guns with something just a little bit thicker like a grease, especially if it's blowback operated like some of my 9mm carbines. They can handle the grease and still run well in the cold. That's a really great idea actually to include. So you have either option, something a little bit more grease and a little bit more oily based. Lastly, you have something for your lenses. So when it comes to lenses, I have an O-Light right here, or O-Sight I should say, that they sent out. That's the O-Sight S, and I get carbon on this all the time. I get dirt on this all the time. Sometimes I get fingerprints if I let other people use it and they're touching the screens. And so this is something that has to be cleaned off relatively often. And this is just a formula designed, they call it crystal clear. It is designed specifically for lenses. And even if you have coatings on your lenses, like I have some Zeiss optics, I have some relatively expensive glass, and generally I'm very, very careful about putting anything spray oriented or water, even moisture from my breath. I try not to scratch up those kinds of lenses. I want to be really careful about that. So still a great product, but be careful in the way you apply. I always recommend take the finest paintbrush that you can, very gently wipe away anything dirt related before putting your finger in there with like some sort of lens cleaning cloth. You don't want to grind in dirt or carbon. So this is a great second step for me. I always recommend starting, when it comes to lenses, start with some sort of really fine paintbrush or a lens cleaning brush of some sort. Brush off the flakes and the big dirt, and then when it comes to the very fine parts or just fingerprints and oils, this might be something that can help reduce that. And then it's also got an anti-static protection. It's not going to discolor the surface, which is very important when it comes to precision rifles, and it's UV resistant. It's not just going to cook off because your optic has been in the sun all day. Something else sort of interesting is it works with phones. So it can work with any screen. They're advertising in that way, and so it's going to cover all the gear that you have out there with you, which in my case ends up being sometimes some kind of basic camera lenses, my phone, and then the lenses on my optics, like I said, this O-Sight S. Well, it's about time for me to actually clean this guy over here. I want to say one more thank you to Modern Spartan Systems for sending this out. It was a real privilege to get to tell my subscribers about it. And for those of you who are subscribers to my channel, I want to let you know that I'm going to follow up with this, especially the accuracy oil and accuracy grease. I'm pretty much ready to say that the crystal clear has been really effective on all my screens, and I haven't had any damage or issues with that, so that can pretty much be good to go right now. The carbon destroyer worked really well. A lot of the black mass just melted off. That was great. The lead and copper destroyer did do what it's supposed to do. On my rigs for my precision rifle, I didn't need much, just a few drops. Really, it was saturated on the actual jig. When I pushed it through, I left it for a few minutes. I let it soak in, because that's really what you should do. I did run my brush back and forth a few times to try to work it into the grooves, and it came out with the color that I needed to see on my particular rig. So it really seems like it took a lot of that out of there. And with 22, it's so effective. Very, very effective. So I like what I'm seeing here. I'll give you more of an update on the accuracy oil and accuracy grease really soon. Sun's going down, like I said, so head over to Modern Spartan Systems and check this out, especially if you want to take your firearms very seriously and you want them to run and operate at a high level.